Hello everyone. So here I know we all have them, these horrible photos of important events. So I want to show you how I create a layout using these difficult or not so great photos. So yes, as you can see, this was a horrible photo of the bride and groom, my cousin, but it was the only one I had of them from the evening in my phone, so I had to use it. And so I just covered it up and cut it out all the distractions with one of these frames. So in this frame you can see it's so much nicer and you focus really on them and you totally almost ignore the distractions that were originally in the photo. So very simple tip, if you have a frame, use them. It's a nice way to cover up those imperfections in these photos. So here I just wanted to show you, I hand wrote my title. So hopefully this may inspire you to maybe break away from the alpha stickers and the stamping a little bit and practice some handwriting. And even if it's not scripty cursive like this, just even basic writing, it adds a nice touch and it gives you a chance to practice or show off some of your lettering skills. So this is just kind of my normal fancy cursive, I guess you call it. And I did the faux calligraphy there by darkening the downstrokes. And just cut it out, and now I have my own kind of custom title there, just with my pen and paper. So their colors were black, white, and red is one of the hardest colors for me to scrapbook with besides green and purple. So it was a challenge for me to incorporate the red, as you'll see later on. So I just added a touch of that pink to the edge of the title, just to add a little bit of contrast. And I don't know if you noticed there that I did use the back of some designer paper scraps. So I have some scraps of paper that I've had for ages where it's not double-sided paper, it's actually white. So I've used all those, or I'm using all those as white paper, so that way I use up those scraps. And so here I'm using a blender pen and an ink pad to try to get a soft pastel kind of look. And my blender pen is really dry, so that's why I'm going directly to the ink pad. But if you have kind of a newer blender pen, don't do that or it'll be really dense color. But because mine's dry, I needed more of the ink, and so that's why I went directly to the ink pad. And so here I have another bad photo. You can see I have the projector screen thing in the back there, kind of an eyesore. So I'm going to cover it with an embellishment. And so this embellishment, I'm trying to also get the color on it. The first color was too soft, and then now it's uneven because, again, my blender pen is drying out. But I was just a little lazy. So here I got this kind of faded water look. Not the best embellishment, I could say. I don't really like the way it turned out, but it fit perfectly, and it was black, white, and then a little bit of red. So, but just using that embellishment, I covered up that eyesore in the photo and kept going. So here's a full 4x6 photo that I'm not going to have a journaling card. So I just added some washi on the bottom, just about half of it to show. Here I'm going to do some stamping. So there's not really something I guess I want to hide in this photo, but I needed a place to put this embellishment. And so in the corner of the photo where I'm at, it's dark, and so I decided to put it there. So you can see if I put it on the right, it's kind of light, but on the left side, I think it balances out my sister's kind of lighter gray shirt. So just an idea for you to maybe cover a dark spot in your photos might be another good place to put an embellishment to break up a 4x6. And so here I'm putting two small photos together. And again, red is so hard for me to use. I had that red cardstock out trying to use it, but it's just the brightness of red. I don't know what it is. It's very hard for me to put on a page. I just feel like it's too bright, and I always want to hide it. So that washi I'm using is a soft red. It's kind of coral color, and even that was hard for me to use. So I tried to incorporate that red cardstock as a layer, and I just didn't like it. It was too bold. So I decided just to, again, to use the red ink pad and create a little embellishment. And so you may be asking why I'm using these stamps without a block. It's just because I'm lazy. They are, they have the foam behind them. They're cling rubber stamps. And again, I'm an experienced stamper, I say. I feel comfortable doing that, but if you're not, please you put them on a block and use them the correct way. But I was just being lazy, and that's kind of what I do when I'm just lazy and want to stamp it. So I cut it out as a banner like you can see there, and then I put it in between both photos so that kind of ties them together, and I like the way that looks. I was going to try to incorporate some kind of a little heart embellishment, and then I forgot I had these little puffy stickers, so I just added one here to tie the two together. And that finishes that pocket. So on to the next bad photo. Very dark, so that's why I went with a white background to contrast it. And then I just added that red washi to try to tie it all together. I had these alphas that I just thought would work well because they were gray and had the black. But again, I'm just trying to cover little bits on the photo, and there's no other way I could have brightened up the photo. I was going to add one more embellishment, but it didn't really fit. So that's all I'm doing with that photo. So dark photos, use a lighter background. It helps. Or if you have a photo editing software or something on, or a app to lighten the photo in your phone if you can before you print them. But again, I didn't do that, so it is what it is. And so I'm just adding a little embellishment, added that heart to tie in the red, and one more brad. So finally, this is the last pocket. So I just stamped a few of these images, and I'm doing the same technique I did before with the blender pen just to tie in that color. And so here again, if you're familiar, I'm grounding, or just again giving me a place to separate that pattern and a place to embellish. So here I had another dark spot in my photo, so that's where I put my embellishment. And by having it go off the page or off the photo, I think it ties it together and kind of makes the whole 4x6 kind of flow together. You don't see that stark vertical line between where the photo ends and the pattern paper begins. So I'm adding this enameled shape again. Unforgiving, those stick very strongly once you put it down, so you better be sure where you want them. Just had this little wood piece, and I'm going to add another brad. And I was impatient, so the glue was still wet, so I had to keep moving it back. But added a little brad there. And then to finish off this pocket, I wanted to add like a title to it, so went to my alphas here. I found this gray alpha. And one more wood veneer piece I had here. Since this whole page had my family on it, I thought it was appropriate. So it's kind of like the title card, but in the bottom last pocket. And that will finish this layout. So I hope you're inspired to cover up or use those not so great photos. I hope you're inspired, and thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate a subscribe, and please let me know if you're enjoying these videos. Thanks so much. Bye.